The former Greens senator, the rogue Victorian Senator Lidia Thorpe, spoke at the National Press Club today. Perhaps not the most insightful, powerful or upstanding speaker to be hosted by the Press Club, but she spoke all the same. And Thorpe, an Indigenous woman, said a lot of crazy and divisive things, and she of course railed against the voice. Not only is she a no campaigner in the referendum, she reckons the referendum should be scrapped.
This country, your system of government, has been built on lies. Lies. And the referendum for the voice to Parliament is a continuation of these lies. It promises to finally fix the Aboriginal problem. It is false hope, because it is tricking people into genuinely believing that a powerless advisory body is going to protect our country and sacred sites, save our lives, keep our babies at home. The voice is the window dressing for constitutional recognition.
She doesn't really accept the legitimacy of our federal parliament. Yet she's happy to be there for 6 years and take her $300,000 a year. And there you go on the referendum. She's on a unity ticket with the coalition, whose official position, of course, is to vote no. And Peter Dutton also says the referendum shouldn't even be held. But they do so for different reasons. Back when the coalition used to talk about the actual voice and the actual proposed constitutional wording, they argued it would undermine our system of government. They reckon the voice would have too much power over all sorts of things and change the way our nation operates. Thorpe says the opposite.
The voice cannot give us what we need. It has no power to return land, deliver services, distribute resources, enact laws, or even block racist laws. It cannot build a single house for our people. In fact, there is no guarantee it will do anything at all. The voice is subordinate to the federal government, to the very system oppressing us since colonisation.
Yeah, well, strip away her ridiculous rhetoric and extreme grievances. In legal terms, Thorpe is closer to the truth on the voice than the opposition is. The voice is an advisory body only, and support it or oppose it, the voice will not have the power to do anything except ask governments to make changes. No wonder the main no campaigners have decided the voice just isn't scary enough, and they're trying to raise all sorts of red herrings. For the last couple of weeks, they've been waving around dozens of bits of paper, pretending they had to get them through Freedom of Information applications when they'd been available all along, and pretending they are part of a secret, longer Uluru statement, when they know the Uluru statement is the one-page document they'd all been talking about for years. And the extra papers are meeting summaries and background notes and histories covering some of the consultation leading up to the Uluru statement. They know this, but they say something else. It's quite extraordinary. Still, that didn't stop the no campaigners trying to claim that Labor had secretly signed up to this full Uluru statement, and the coalition pushed all this in Parliament too. Just a bizarre conspiracy theory claiming Labor secretly committed themselves to all sorts of ideas in dozens of pages they'd never even read. Really silly stuff. And the coalition knows it is, but it gives the no campaign a chance to rant about reparations and treaty and the like. And now they reckon they have a gotcha moment because the Prime Minister says he hasn't read this stuff. They're actually saying the PM hasn't read the Uluru statement in full.
It's absolutely incredible, isn't it, Shari? I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up.
But hang on, this is made up. This whole absurd conspiracy theory has been cooked up by the no campaigners. It's a fake attack because the Uluru statement is one page. They're pretending these background papers that they've ignored for 6 years are suddenly important, are suddenly part of a secret, longer Uluru statement. They've pretended Labor signed up to this stuff secretly. This is fake news. The whole caper is a distraction, A confected scare campaign because they know the actual voice isn't scary at all. Keep in mind, these background papers, hundreds of pages of them, have been available in government and online for 6 years. For 5 of those years, the coalition was in government and it never mentioned them, and never pretended they meant anything, and obviously never read them. But now they want to slam Anthony Albanese for saying he hasn't read the same obscure documents that they've never read or made any mention of for 6 years. This is an embarrassingly silly conspiracy theory that a handful of people now in the media are falling for. I guess they figure that at worst it helps to create confusion. There are good and sound arguments against the voice. I don't buy them, as you know, but you can make sensible arguments against the voice. Only the No campaigners have stopped making them. Even though the Yes campaign has been a shambles and the polls favour the No side, the No campaign has realised that the voice, being only an advisory body, isn't scary enough. So they're cooking stuff up to create fear. Wouldn't it be a pity if they underestimated the intelligence of the voting public? But either way, what a sad state of affairs when you see such ugly partisan politics playing out over something as important as reconciliation.